Mindset AI presents Shadows Beneath Arkham, the tale of an ancient horror. In the twilight hours, when the dying sun cast long, sinister shadows over the decaying town of Arkham, Dr. William Sutter lingered alone in the Orne Library of Miskatonic University. The bell in the administration building had already tolled 6, its hollow peal echoing across the quadrangle like a funereal knell, yet Sutter remained unmoving at his desk, eyes fixed on a slip of yellowed catalogue paper. Arkham was a town that aged poorly. Its streets sagged like tired bones. Its buildings leaned inward as if conspiring to share secrets no living soul should hear. The university itself seemed less a place of learning than a mausoleum of knowledge, preserving truths that had outlived their relevance and their safety. Sutter had always felt that Miskatonic did not merely contain books, but fed upon them, growing heavier with each forbidden volume added to its vaults. The catalogue entry had been wrong, crossed out, rewritten by several hands in different inks, some brown with age, others unnervingly fresh. There was no title, only a reference number and a marginal note written in cramped script, removed from public access. Do not reshelve. That warning should have sufficed. It did not. Driven by a gnawing compulsion he could neither name nor resist, Sutter descended into the sealed wing beneath the Orne Library. The staircase groaned beneath his weight, each step exhaling a breath of cold air that smelled faintly of mold and something older, something mineral and stale, like stone long buried. His electric torch flickered as if reluctant to illuminate what lay ahead. The forbidden archives were chaos given form. Shelves buckled and collapsed, books lay in heaps like fallen bodies, and warning sigils, some chalked, others carved, marked entire sections as if to cage the contents within. It was there, behind a toppled shelf and wrapped in rotting oilcloth, that he found the book. The binding was leather, but not of any animal he recognized. It was gray and hairless, stretched tight over the spine, and warm to the touch despite the chill of the room. The symbols on the cover seemed shallow at first glance, but when he traced them with his eyes, they deepened, forming angles that defied Euclidean logic. His torch dimmed as he lifted the volume, and for a moment he thought he heard a sigh of satisfaction. Opening the book was like opening a wound. The pages whispered as they turned, though there was no breeze. The ink appeared blacker than black, as though the letters were holes cut into the page, leading into a deeper darkness beneath. Sutter's scholarly training allowed him to decipher fragments, Aklo phrases that described thresholds, corrupted Latin prayers stripped of all Christian mercy, Proto-Sumerian invocations referencing the crawling chaos. Again and again, the same name emerged, coiling through the text like a living thing, Nyarlathotep. With every repetition, the library seemed to shrink. The shadows stretched and pooled at his feet, crawling up the shelves like grasping fingers. His heart thundered, yet his hands moved of their own accord, turning page after page. The book spoke not only of rituals, but of cycles, of civilizations that rose, learned too much, and were erased or reshaped at the whim of something vast and amused. When Sutter returned to his rooms, the words followed. He dreamed of deserts beneath alien skies, where towering obelisks cast shadows that moved independently of the sun. He dreamed of a figure clad in shifting masks, walking among humanity in countless guises, pharaoh, priest, scholar, madman, always smiling. Each dream ended with the same whisper.
You have always known.
In the days that followed, Sutter changed. Colleagues noticed his distraction first. His lectures veered away from scheduled topics into unsettling speculations about pre-human epics and nonlinear time. He spoke of intelligence as a cosmic accident, of humanity as an experiment long past its usefulness. Students left his classes pale and shaken, unable to explain why his words filled them with such existential dread. At night, Sutter began keeping a journal. Its early entries were coherent, if strained.
The text suggests that Nyarlathotep is not merely an entity, but a function, a messenger between incomprehensible powers and lesser minds. If so, what does that make those who hear him?
Later entries degenerated into frantic scrawls and diagrams, circles intersecting at impossible angles, symbols repeating until the page tore beneath the pressure of his pen.
I remember the stones. I was a child. The cold was not of this world. Why was I taken there? Why do the symbols feel like memories rather than discoveries?
The final pages of the book revealed the truth in full. The ritual was not an act of summoning in the traditional sense. It was an invitation, long prepared, requiring not knowledge alone but familiarity. The diagrams depicted a stone circle older than Arkham, older than the university, older than recorded history. Recognition struck him with sickening force. He remembered that he had stood there once, as a boy, on a school excursion gone strangely unrecorded. He recalled touching one of the stones and feeling a vibration, like a distant voice humming through his bones. The realization shattered his last defenses. On the night of the ritual, Arkham was restless. Clouds drifted across the moon, and the wind carried faint whispers through the streets. Sutter moved like a sleepwalker, gathering the materials with eerie precision, black candles that smoked without flame, chalk ground from bone, an obsidian dagger that drank in the light. The forest beyond Arkham was unnaturally silent. Even insects seemed to flee his passage. The stone circle waited, unchanged and patient, its monoliths slick with moss and carved with symbols that glowed faintly as he approached. He drew the sigils with trembling hands. When the dagger cut his palm, the blood did not fall. It hovered, drawn into the symbols as if gravity had forgotten its purpose. His voice layered over itself as he spoke the incantation, harmonies emerging that no human throat should produce. The earth trembled. The air thickened, reeking of decay and ancient storms. The stars above flickered, some winking out entirely, others burning with a strange, malignant clarity. Shadows detached themselves from the stones and folded inward, forming a shape that refused coherence, a writhing mass of darkness punctuated by countless eyes. The pressure on Sutter's mind was immense. Memories not his own flooded him, the birth and death of worlds, the laughter of gods at the fragility of matter, the endless manipulation of civilizations for sport or curiosity. The voice did not speak aloud. It bloomed inside his skull. Knowledge, power, eternity. In that final moment of clarity, Sutter understood the terrible joke. He was not a summoner. He was a component, a key shaped across generations, guided gently toward this moment. The ritual did not open a door. It completed one. As the darkness closed around him, his final thought flickered weakly. Some doors are not meant to be found, because they were never meant to be opened again. Arkham slept poorly that night. Dogs howled until their throats bled. Sensitive minds woke screaming from dreams they could not remember. The forest near the stone circle grew unnaturally cold, even in summer. Shadows bent against the wind. Travelers spoke of whispers promising understanding, urging them closer to the stones. Dr. William Sutter's disappearance warranted only a brief column in the Arkham Advertiser. No body was found. His rooms were cleared. His journal vanished from the evidence locker under unexplained circumstances. But beneath the stones, deep in the lightless earth, something stirred, patient, amused, and fully awake. The book remained in the archives, and sooner or later, another scholar would notice the crossed-out catalogue entry, feel that inexplicable pull, and begin the cycle anew. In the twilight hours, when the dying sun cast its long, sinister shadows, Professor Edward Espalin lingered alone in the Orne Library of Miskatonic University. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. It would mean the world to us.